Okay, 512, this is part 2 of the video. So we're doing unit 16. So, same thing as always, answers question 1 to 3, and then do the target vocabulary. All right? Do you remember the name, any stories about space travel? Just write any story about space travel that you might know. Do you know the names of any astronauts or spacecraft? This one's easy too. If you don't, it's okay. What do you think is the longest time that anyone has spent in space? Take a guess. There's no wrong answer, all right? Target vocabulary. So pause the video while you do 1, 2, 3 and the target vocabulary, all right? So pause the video. Okay. So number 1 for the target vocabulary. Number 1, aboard is G. On a ship, train, plane, or other vehicle. Number 2 is D, astronaut, a person who goes into space. Number 3, conduct is E, organize and carry out. Number 4, launch is B, send up into the air or into space. Number 5, mission is H, an important job that a group of people are sent somewhere, usually another country, to do. 6, planet is A, something in space that goes around a star, like Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Number 7 is C, say what will happen in the future. Number 8 is F, an object sent into space as part of a communication system. Okay? So, here are the answers, so you guys can copy them. Pause the video right there so you got the answers. Okay. So now, we're going to read the passage. After men landed on the moon in 1969, astronauts around the world had a problem. There were no other places they could go. Even today, the other planets are still too far away for astronauts to fly to. So, while rockets and robots can go to other planets, flights with astronauts have to stay closer to home, at least for the time being. Therefore, since visiting the moon, manned space programs have turned their attention to solving problems related to living and working in space. For the past decade, NASA's manned space exploration program has focused on the Space Shuttle program. During that time, NASA operated 3 space shuttles, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Unfortunately, 2 of NASA's shuttles, Challenger and Columbia, were lost through accidents. 7 astronauts died in each accident. While the shuttle program was going on, the shuttles flew over 120 missions. These missions included putting satellites into orbit, photographing the Earth, studying space, conducting experiments related to working in space, and connecting with various manned space stations in orbit. Today, however, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour are no longer being flown. NASA retired its space shuttle program in 2011. As well as putting rockets and space shuttles into orbit, several space stations have been put into orbit. In 1986, the Soviet Union launched the Mir space station. Mir stayed in orbit until March 23, 2001. Over that time, 104 astronauts visited the station to stay for various lengths of time. The person who has spent the longest in space so far is Russian astronaut Sergei Krikalev. Working abroad Mir and flying in other missions, Mr. Krikalev lived and worked in space for a total of 809 days, 9 hours, and 39 minutes. That is more than 2 years in space. Another space station, the International Space Station, is still in orbit today. The first part of this space station was launched in 1998. NASA added the final section to the ISS in 2010, officially completing the space station. In the long run, it is predicted that research done aboard the ISS will help scientists learn about living and working in space. So read that again if you have to, but we're going to move on, okay? I want you guys to answer reading comprehension 1 to 5, okay? Do that, and then we'll do the idioms. So pause the video while you answer the questions. All right. Number 1, what is the best title for the passage? The answer is B, the past and future of space travel. Number 2, according to the passage, why are astronauts unable to travel to other planets now? The answer is D, the journey would take too long for a person. Number 3, how many space shuttle astronauts have been killed in accidents? The answer is C, 14. Let me just double check that. That doesn't sound right. Oh, yes, 14, because it's 7 for both accidents. Number 4, what is not true about Sergei Krikalev? The answer is B. He spent more than 2 years aboard Mir. What is true about the International Space Station? D. Scientists will research aboard it. So those are the answers. Make sure you have the right ones. Now we'll do the idioms. Okay, so pause the video while you do the idioms. Okay. For the time being, that one is going to be in the first paragraph. So while flying rockets and robots can go to other planets, flights with astronauts have to stay closer to home, at least for the time being. First paragraph, last sentence. So far, that one is gonna be, hold on, so far. Let me see if I can find it very quickly. Hold on. Okay, that is in, so far is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth paragraph. The person who has spent the longest in space so far is Russian astronaut Sergei Krikalev. And 3, in the long run. That's in the last paragraph, the last sentence. In the long run, it is predicted that research done aboard the ISS will help scientists learn about living and working in space. Whew, okay. Now, go to the next page. We're gonna do the vocabulary reinforcement A. So pause the video while you do it. Okay. I've been studying all morning, but up to now, I've only memorized 15 words. 1 is B, so far. Number 2, Maria would love to retire, but she needs the money. So for now, she has to keep working. D, for the time being. Number 2 is D, for the time being. 3, he is a terrible fortune teller. Nothing he says comes true. 3 is going to be D, predicts. Okay, predicts. 4, the president sent a team of experts on an important assignment to try and end the war. 4 is going to be C, mission. Mission. Number 5, this car is very expensive, but it will drive well for many years, and over time, you will save money. 5 is A, in the long run. In the long run. 6, NASA put an expensive communications device into orbit last week. And 6 is going to be C, satellite. Okay? So, here are the answers. We've got B, D, D, C, A, C. So pause the video so you can get the answers. Okay. And the last part, pause the video while you guys go and do B. Okay, so pause. Okay. It is not yet possible for people to travel to other planets by rocket because they are so far away. Therefore, space programs today focus on developing safe ways for astronauts to live and work in space. One way space programs can conduct experiments on living and working in space is by putting space stations in orbit. The Russian space station Mir was launched into orbit in 1986, and it stayed up for more than 10 years. One astronaut who spent time aboard Mir, Sergei Krikalev, has spent more time in space than any other person. So the answer to number 1 is planets. Number 2, astronauts. Number 3, conduct. Number 4, launched. And number 5, aboard. And that is our lesson, all finished. If you guys have any questions, call or email the school. We will help you out. That's it for today, and I will see you guys on Friday, okay? Bye, guys.